Hi, I'm Adam Abraham, and I want to continue some thoughts on water first. I'm here, it's called Railroad Lake in Henderson, and anyway, I like being around water, so I kind of look for it, seek it out, and have that to share. We know water is important. We know it's critical to so many parts and aspects of our life, but we don't know that much about water. Over the last 8 years or so far for me, I've been learning about water. We've been a consumer. I've been a consumer all my life. Even before I came to this world, I was using water. It was inside my mother's womb, as it was for most of you. You know, quite frankly, even if someone was conceived in a test tube, they were still in water. You know, and what does that mean? It means water is important. It's important to life. And if water is in a good state, life will grow. I won't say good state. If water is in a certain state, life will grow and flourish. If it's not, life cannot grow and flourish. Or, on the other hand, other forms of life will grow and flourish. I think the bottom line is life will grow and flourish whatever the state the water is in. But is it the life that you want? Is it your life? Is it your kids? Is it your family? That's the question. And that's what I've been learning, is that it's not really about you know, whether the water is quote unquote good or bad. The water will always sustain life. The question is, will it sustain yours? So that's one thing. Talk about food for thought and thought for food. I did a video just shortly, a little while ago, about spin. And someone wrote in and asked me a question and said, well, if you showered with a Vortex generator, what if the water has toxins, or such as what he said, fluoride and things like that? That's a good question, and I gave him a pretty detailed answer in writing, but I want to talk about it again. When water goes through a vortex generator, when water forms a vortex, and our vortex generators create a cluster of vortexes, okay, vortex events, certain things happen. The question, and we tend to be very, very specific and very concerned about removing fluoride, removing chlorine, removing hexavalent this and that, chromium-6, I think is what they call it, lead. We are all about removing things. And what I'd like to do and suggest, first of all, vortex generators do not remove, in that sense, anything. It changes, though, everything. I actually wrote that, but I remembered it. How does it happen? How do they do that? It's not the vortex generator per se. It's the vortex itself. It's what happens in a vortex event, because profoundly, specifically, and with great certainty, a vortex event is an electrical event. It is producing electricity. It is creating forces. It is creating the forces of transmutation. It's creating the forces of what's called, it's creating ionized particles, ionization. And in ionization is the ability to create a situation whereby molecules and compounds do two things. One, they can be broken up, and secondly, relative to the dynamics of what holds a molecule together, which are electron bonds. They are simply forces of attraction or repulsion. When new particles are created, which does occur, they call them charged particles, and some of them have a positive charge, and other ones have a negative discharge. They have the tendency to pull molecules together. They also have the tendency to break them apart. They also have the tendency to exchange electrons or change protons, change particles. And in so doing, they change such things as isotopes of various elements that are in the water that make up the water, to the extent that a molecule or compound that was and that had a disruptive effect. What is toxicity other than a major disruption of normal metabolism? That's all it is, okay? Toxicity is something that causes a disruption of normal metabolism, which basically it causes an obstruction of flow. It may cause a lack of proper function. A toxin creates dysfunction within an ecosystem. Anticoagulants, which doctors are given, are licensed and approved to give to people, are toxins. They are poisons. They upset normal metabolic process and functions, and they're approved by the approving authorities. Water that has the residue of many, many different compounds, it carries them until the forces are brought to bear that changes them. In a vortex are the forces that cause and allow that change to occur. Therefore, or if you're in Latin, ergo, vortexing your water, having a vortex generator on your water line prior to you using it. This could be on a shower head, and if I were so inclined, I would get up and go get a little shower unit so you can see, but I can use some film to do that. It could be on your garden hose. It can be on your house, on the line as it comes in, because that vortex generator will energize. It changes the motion state, the spin state. It also changes the alignment of all of those electrons so that they behave differently, and it allows for those electron exchanges between molecules and compounds to occur. At any rate, keeping it short, vortex generators are devices that are very, very actually important, are critical to doing something to help shift the beneficial effects of your water back in your favor before you use it. That's something that does not seem too evident when you see it in the beginning, because there are no moving parts, nothing to wear out, no ongoing maintenance. But when it goes through the water, it creates and restores a state to that water that is actually helpful, beneficial. We see it in crops, we see it in marine life, we see it with animals, we see it with plants, we actually see it with people too. We also see it even with processes. But I promise to keep this short. I'll keep it to that subject alone. If you have more questions, visit presidentwater.com. Say hello. If you got more questions, give us a ring. Thanks. Bye-bye.